to load.
Can you shut the light off behind me?
I'm gonna make sure my phone is on silent.
It's up. Just turn it. Okay.
Not yet.
Much better. Much better.
It had quite a glow.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a green room with a dressing room.
Yeah.
No problem. All right, give me a second. We're just seeing the post real quick. We're gonna just share it. Everybody that's tuning in, we're gonna be going live in 1 minute. We're gonna start with a 30-second countdown. So we are live now on Facebook. So if Terry or yourself want to share it from the Dani Perro Show on Facebook to your Andrew Dean page, you're more than welcome to. And we're gonna get this show started. 1 second. Everybody that's tuning in, hi guys, we will be there. 1 second, we're just getting situated on our end.
No, I might send a link because I don't have it.
I'll have Christopher, can you email them the link for when we're live on Facebook, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Make sure you're welcome.
I don't see it.
I will make sure he sends that to you. Yeah, it's live on the Dani Perro Show on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm on it, but I don't see it.
And then we're going to start a 30-second countdown. Are you good on your end? Start?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right, we're going to start a 30-second countdown in 1 minute. Just waiting on this. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. Welcome to the Dani Perro Show here in the home studio today. I'm going to say it's so crazy that we are almost officially into the summer. Next month is June, and it's so exciting and interesting because this year is definitely flying by. And it's also funny because we were just in February not too long ago. So it's definitely flying by. We're going to be in 2025 soon. And I think it's exciting. So I'm glad to have my guest today, Andrew, Mr. Andrew Dean. And we also know you for being in the duo with your wife, Terry, and with the farm band. So we're excited to get to know you and more of the duo and your band later in the show. We appreciate your time for being here today with your busy schedule on tour. You know, you and Terry probably have a lot, you're working on getting done. So we appreciate the time that you give us as opposed to your busy schedule. So thank you again.
Well, thank you. And it's so great to be with you, Dani. It truly is.
Well, thank you. That's so sweet. I'm excited to start the show off about yourself. As you know, this is your show. And I would like to get started a little bit with yourself. If you can explain to me, when you were younger, when you first had a feeling as opposed to music was a calling to you, whether it was when you were younger, when it was like you've listened to your first track and it's something you wanted to do when you grew up?
Yeah, well, actually, I've always been around music. My mom played for church. There was a grand piano that sat in our front room. So she was a tremendous pianist, and so I got a good feel for music at a very young age. I also started digging in her records and finding she had a very eclectic collection. I mean, from Louis Armstrong to the Beatles to Bob Dylan, and just a lot of different stuff. So I would listen to that, and so it was just amazing to me, the different sounds, the different styles, at a very young age. And I really got a hold of the Beatles stuff, and I really started liking that. So
Ooh, okay.
yeah, so my friend Jimmy at the time, we were pals. We'd stand in front of the stereo and we'd play our yardsticks, and and so that was our guitars back then, because we were just like about 4 years old,
Yeah, just having fun. Yeah,
You
like
betcha.
some guitar when you're younger. Yeah, of
Well,
course.
and I figured too, if I had the yardstick in my hand, then my mom couldn't use it because I was misbehaving, you know.
Oh no, a whooping. It's nice that you also have the benefit to grow up with your friends that love music like you, and
Oh, yeah.
also, just experience the inspiration of it. Whether you both have an option of maybe he likes Bob Dylan more and you like the Beatles or anything like that. It's never really disagreements as opposed to you both like the same artists. So it just makes a more communication and friendship
Hmm.
better and more fun when you're younger.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Then I started getting a hold of. I dug into her collection, found some good blues artists and stuff like that that she
Wow.
had in there. So I mean, I have all that influence
Yeah.
that really really helped shape what I like in music.
Yeah. No, blues is definitely really interesting, especially at a young age. When did you get into blues music?
Probably right around then, about the same time. A lot of
It's like
the
different. Yeah. It's really nice though. I love listening to blues sometimes.
hmm
It just makes you feel, deeper on another level to communicate with the music
hmm
as opposed to different artists and genres out there nowadays. You know what I mean?
hmm
You don't hear a lot of blues. You get an option to hear blues or jazz, and it's like a lot of people will do like bluesgrass or anything like that. But it's like some musicians, as yourself, you guys are bringing back the patrioticity, with that, and also with the gospel and the certain types of music that you have as well.
hmm Well, I grew up in church. I mean, like I say, my mom was a church organist, so I got involved with the choir at a very young age. She could hear how I could sing, so it was you're going to be in the choir. So I learned how to harmonize and sing with others and things like that.
She
So
pushed you right into it, didn't she?
oh yeah, she did, and she always told me her advice to me was, listen, if you're going to make a mistake, it might as well be a loud one. So just sing out. Yeah.
That's actually a positive, type of saying because with any mistake that we make nowadays, you feel like it can frown upon you depending on your career or anything like that. It's more of like if you make it loud, whether or not other people understand what happened, you're also young, right? So it's not going to scar you for the rest of your life.
Oh
It's
yeah.
something that's a mistake. You're learning. You're growing up and learning. That type of thing.
Well, and,
So
and one of the things too, I mean, you're going to make mistakes as you go along. I mean, none of us is perfect, so I don't think anybody shows up to a show expecting it to be exactly, perfect to the level of how the record is or something like that. And
of course,
it adds a unique.
mistakes happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I've seen guys fall off the stage on accident, but playing their guitar. Oh yeah.
Right.
And,
As long as you're not falling off the stage, right?
well,
That's what we want to make sure of.
I used to have this trick where I would jump from the ground to the stage until I missed the stage one time. That wasn't so good.
Oh no. Did you hurt yourself?
Oh, I did, but the show went on. I took care of it after I was done.
Oh no. I hope you didn't hurt yourself too bad.
Nah.
I just want to say because Miss Jerry Petito is tuning in, and I appreciate every time she tunes into my show.
Oh, she's so cool.
So thank you, Jerry, for tuning in. We love you. We're excited to have Andrew Dean. We're going to learn all about him on the show. So thank you for that. And we're excited. I think we're going good with this. So tell me a little bit about when you were younger with your friend. You said that you guys grew up, you were doing yardsticks, you're getting kind of feeling for the music, something that you like, something that you enjoy. Skip to after church, you did choir. Did you do anything in school? Did you do theater? Did you do choir in churches?
Well, when I was in school, I did a lot of different stuff. I wrote for our school paper, so I'd go to all the rock shows and stuff and do a review of all that. That was my end to be able to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that, and yeah, I did get involved with theater and that. Did Friedrich for the Sound of Music, and he's got to hit that high note and everything, and it's like,
oh my goodness,
oh,
you
yeah.
were on traps.
So
that's incredible. That's an iconic moment.
Well, we it was interesting, and it was a really good way to establish learning process of words and that and how to address a character in a because music is a lot of that too, where you have characters or things in certain songs, and so it's a lot of different expression.
But it's also a learning curve as opposed to being a musician and an artist and an actor.
Mhm.
There's so many hats that you have to put on that a lot of people don't understand unless you're in theater. Whether
Oh,
it's not just singing, it's the acting, it's the dancing,
oh
it's
yeah.
the oh, you know. And as a musician, knowing theater, you could take that upon your career and do so much more with it too.
Well, I do. I mean, I don't stand still when I'm playing. I dance with the guitar on. I do all that. And
Well, I wasn't saying I hope you stand still. I was hoping that you had a good time tapping your toes and feeling the beat.
oh, I don't
But
even tap my toes. I literally dance. I mean, I shuffle around, I move around, and
yeah.
it's just, to me, that's what music does. It just it makes the soul alive. So it's.
Well, I love that. So we talked a little bit about in the beginning, as you know, you getting into music when you were younger.
Mhm.
Now let's talk about some of the inspirations that you were looking into. Were some of the records that you were listening to from your mom's, um, as opposed to, was it anything gospel related? Like
Well,
was
I was in
gospel
gospel.
like
Yeah, I
hymns?
was. Yes, I was in gospel music. I'm from church and everything. So I mean, I was really involved with that.
Yeah.
But when I really got into my teenage years, I kind of drifted away from the gospel music and got really into the rock and roll. So I was really, I even was in rock bands for the first one. I was in my early 20s. I got involved with rock bands. So we went through all of that. And so then I settled down from that for a little while and started reevaluating music and what it was. And that's where I really started coming up. Number one with country and
Okay.
out of country, also the gospel end of things. Uh, I, I I really started to more feel the music than just play the music.
For country, when you were first getting interested, kind of how do you feel the music pulled you as a listener before you became a musician?
Well, country music tells a story. I mean, a lot of it tells a story, and
Yeah.
it doesn't all have to be sad or this or that or anything else. I mean, there's just a lot of different experiences in life that you can put into the music that really in rock and roll you're just, for me anyways, it was a lot of more cover stuff that in the early days that I did rather than
Okay.
write, although I have written some rock songs.
Okay.
But I just, it was really a lot more of that. But once I got into the country end of it, that's when I really started writing. I really started expressing music, and with patriotic music, it was the same way. I wrote a song called in 1999 called "In a Mother's Eyes" that was about a hometown hero. Uh, he went to Vietnam and came back 9 days later in a box. And I was just a little guy, and I'm standing there with my mom, and Mrs. Kratzer standing on the one side, and she's crying, and Mrs. Aldrich is standing on the other side, and she's crying. Well, this is what confused me as a kid. I was like, "Why are both of them crying?" And she said, "Honey," she says, "Elvina, Mrs. Kratzer, lost her son, your
Oh,
friend."
oh
I
my
said, "I
God.
know. I'm so sad." And she goes, "Mrs. Aldrich is relieved. Her son escorted the body back. He's safe. He doesn't have to be in Vietnam right now." So that was probably man, that was such a poignant moment for a little kid to hear that, and
Yeah.
it awoke my spirit to, gosh, some people have to give their life up for the freedom that I enjoy. Coming to the quarry and swimming, riding my bike.
You wouldn't know. Exactly.
So
They don't teach you that in a lot of songs. All you ever hear from some artist are thank you for the, everything you give to our country. Thank you for this. Thank you for, everything that you guys do for us. We really appreciate it. But nobody knows what's actually happening out there. You know what I
well,
mean? It's only like, deep people within
yeah,
the.
well, and the thing is too, it's not just the person that's there. They of course are the most affected, but it's also the families, because their loved one isn't there. You don't know they're safe. You don't know, how things are going, and there's always that question. Is my son or daughter coming home?
It's
It's
scary and so
it's
sad.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and that is wearing on a family. So it's there's a lot of aspects to that, and I love my veterans, and that's what I call them, my veterans, because I love my freedom, and I'm
God
very thankful for it.
Especially for Memorial Day, literally yesterday.
Well,
know?
that's a lot of guys like Lynn who paid the price. Some gave all gave some. And it just it's a lot. There's a lot in our hometown when we were growing up where uh, we did a memorial wall and just all sorts of stuff. We did a 9/11 monument. Just some amazing stuff
Just
came out of the
to give
community.
back. Yeah.
So yeah,
I
and I was honored to be part of it.
I understand completely. And I feel like as a musician, you get the opportunity with music when you write what you write to
Mhm.
give back. And it gives you just grace and the happiness that somebody that was listening may have felt, shed a tear. It hit them. That's the type of music that you want
Well,
to bring out.
Danny, there's the thing about that too is not only that, but I always pray before we do shows and stuff. My prayer always is, Lord, you've given me these gifts. May I share these gifts to your glory, and may this be a blessing to who's listening to it, and that blessing be returned back to you.
That's
So
beautiful.
that's really that's where my heart is, and that's the only way I can do what I do.
That's so beautiful. That's so soulful and very deep and emotional.
Mhm.
Everything of that. But with being in the certain scene that you were, because you're doing country music and
Mhm.
gospel, did it ever seem like it was hard for you to combine both genres in the beginning, whether you were starting out as a musician?
Well, not
They
really,
both have
because
different kind of, ways that they spew out.
yeah, not really, because number one, I was really rooted in faith long early on. I
Mhm.
wandered from faith and thought I could do it better myself, and found out that was not going to work. And so that was a growing experience in the gospel end, and in the country end, where I started with my music. It was really writer's development that really got me on track with how I wanted to write, and then getting inside the music. It really goes a lot deeper if you're really in tune with the music and what you're writing. You have to really hear every aspect of what you're doing. Now,
Yeah.
if you've got a producer or somebody like that, not so much, because the producer can say, well, that's good, or this, and they can cut it. But if you're producing it and you're writing it, which this last album is, that's what happened. Um, I had to really get inside the music. Is that tambourine needed, or is that cuervo needed, or aguero, and or is that guitar part right? No, it needs more guitar here. And how is this all going to blend together?
Chord here. Yeah, exactly.
And that's besides the lyrics. That's beside, I had to be critical on myself big time for a lot of different things that I was doing on the project. And sometimes I say taking it to the mirror can be the hardest thing. When you have to look at yourself and say, okay, man, this isn't working here. You know, but I had a song that's called "Looking Ahead." It took me a year to write that song,
Oh, okay.
and then another song that's on there is called "If I Could." I wrote that in 5 minutes, words, everything. I sat down and I just started playing it and poured this out. And my wife came walking in, and she said, "You better have had the recorder on for that." I said, "Yeah, I did." I said, "I just had to get that out," and boom, there it was. So that came together quick. But boy, there were so many times that "Looking Ahead" hit the floor, and I was like, "I'm not doing that song. I'm not. Oh, let me try
So
this." You know,
if I could, that was the one that took you more than a year.
no, that took about 5 minutes at the
Oh,
table.
that which one took the year?
That was "Looking Ahead."
Looking ahead.
Yeah, the
And
name of the album.
Yeah.
what was the difference between that song versus the other song?
Well,
Like
that's
the way that you were putting your heart and soul in it. Obviously, this one was harder, or this was like a struggle for something that you couldn't let go.
well,
And then
there
the other
was
one was easy to flow.
there was a lot of emotion that went into that, both songs. But "Looking Ahead" really was about life experience. It was more about what people try to put restraints on you by, oh, you're too old, or you don't look the part, or you don't play the part, or you don't. That's what that song's about. It's really about, hey, y'all are good enough. You've got God has given you talent. God's given you stuff to work with it. Don't listen to them. Don't let
Um,
them try to cage you or put you in a box.
Well, as a musician, nowadays, as you understand everything that's going on, if somebody were to come up to you and say you're signed as an independent artist, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So if you
Yes.
had somebody that came up to you and they want you, but they want you to change part of your music, how would you react?
Well, I already had an experience similar to that.
Of course you did. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
with a, it was with a group. I won't name the group, but uh, yeah, it was. You can come and write for us for 10 years, and we might think about letting you cut a Nashville album at that point of your own stuff.
How does that work? That's
So,
terrible. That's so mean.
but well, it's the reality. The business can be that way sometimes. Uh, I
It
always
is.
have. I've always had a writing ability and that, but I don't want to sit at a table and have people pick apart every little thing you do and then try to reassemble it in the way that just because this is the way that this demographic wants to hear it.
Of
Well,
course.
I'm not playing to just this demographic. I'm trying to play
Gotcha.
to the whole room, not just a couple chairs over here. You know, so yeah, that's a tough one there. And some people are cut that way. Don't get me wrong. Some people are good with that, but I myself, that's why I write patriotic music, blues style music. I'll even write rock music, country music. I love it all. I truly do, and
Gospel.
I like to be a part of it.
Yeah. Something you want to be a part of. Yeah, I understand completely. I just want to say, that's definitely incredible, especially because we also had an amazing artist on our show, Richard Lynch, which
Mhm.
I'm sure you know about as well.
Mhm.
And you guys are very similar in that kind of, type of music industry genre because of the countryness and, the different patriotic. I think that's incredible that a lot of musicians, whether you guys know each other, you can collaborate on that, you can build and make your own empire, with a lot of people understanding that type of music that's out there because it's hard to hear authentic country music nowadays. And I
Oh yeah.
even think I mentioned that to him when he was on my show. And he was like, oh, I know. Trust me. So
Yep.
it's, unfortunate. It's really hard, but we're
Yeah,
trying to get what we can.
I love the fiddle and the steel. I like traditional music a lot in the country vein, and classic style country. I mean that's kind of where I'm at with my sound in country music. I do like to incorporate things though. I've got a lot of Latin instrumentation and stuff like that. Trop rock they call it, or trop country. I've
Mhm.
got 3 tunes like that I put on this last project that they really uh, that's Florida music. That's what I call it.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you have to put Florida music out there to show the world exactly what they're missing. But you know what? Like I said, it's hard to listen to authentic country music nowadays. It's just hard to find on the radio, hard to find online. Even the throwback music videos.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I know, yeah, I'm sure, yourself and a lot of other musicians, you guys do your best to try to bring that back because it's retro. It's
Hmm.
incredible what you can do. Now you
Yeah.
have more materials for it versus what you had back then.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, and you can incorporate different stylings in there too. I've got a song called "Rain" that's really it's got the outlaw flavor, but it's infused with this blues lick that is just really awesome. And that wasn't even supposed to be on the song originally.
oh,
But my tech, and I work with 4 different studios, 2 in Florida and 2 in Nashville. But my tech has guitars, and I'm like, well, I said that needs a little bit more, and I said I'd like to really put some blues in there. He goes, let me try it and come back tomorrow and tell me what you think. Wow, man, he got done with that. I says, brother, I says I'm gonna be using you now.
oh,
So
that's incredible. See,
I
it was a
mean,
collaboration you had.
oh yeah,
A
he and
small little connection turns into
and
a
he
big connection.
he told me the story though about that he used to listen to he was trying to get a feel, he was a rocker and trying to get a feel for the blues, and this older gentleman says, son, come on over, I'll show you the blues. And so they went over there, and he didn't let him pick a guitar up, he made him listen to other artists, blues artists, and therefore he got the feel for it. And boy, when he plays it, it really comes out. And I think that's kind of my story too, because from listening to all that music that and I mean, I listened to Bach, Beethoven, Liszt. I mean, I did the classical stuff. I took piano for a good number of years,
Wow.
and then got involved with the guitar, and then a bunch of other, from ukulele to mandolin to just a bunch of stuff. But
A bunch of different
lap
things.
steel, yeah, and I like to play around with that stuff and the sounds, and so absolutely.
Do you incorporate piano in your music as well?
Sure do. Sure do. Yeah,
Okay.
I do a lot of
I didn't know.
do a lot of yeah, do a lot of strings and stuff like that, and there's just a lot of different yeah, instrumentations that I do. Whatever. In fact, even in the Latin music, there's Latin percussions and things you can use with nowadays with the keyboards and everything. Besides what
Yeah.
you play, that just adds so much volume to the music and what your ear is
Makes a
hearing.
huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and I do some crazy stuff sometimes. This is kind of like the ukulele on one of my songs called "Soaking Up the Rays," where I only played a half chord in the right side, played the other half of the chord in the left side, and then I panned it. So they bounce back and forth across the speakers.
For what it was, yeah.
So when you're listening to it, there's something. It's not really out in the front, but there's something in there that's going back and forth, and it's like it. It really adds a dimension to the music.
It definitely does, and it also depends when you start off young compared to where you are now. I mean, that's also incredible because this is definitely a high strung type of attitude, and what you put your heart and soul in, for this industry and the music that you love to do, and what you're still doing to this day. We're going to be talking about your tour in a little bit too during the show, but I wanted to give you the opportunity because everybody that's tuning in knows you and is shouting out and everything as well. Everybody that's tuning in, Aaron, KC, everybody that's tuning in and being a part of the show for yourself. I wanted to give you the opportunity where you can give out your social media, where maybe other artists or listeners that don't know who you are would like to follow you and continue on listening to your journey.
Sure. I've got let's see, I got to think here. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube, Boomplay, Deezer, Pandora. All the links are on the website. One of the things that's unique with the website that is really cool, it's kind of a hear it, see it, and turn it up loud and feel it kind of interactive.
What's this?
Yeah, we put the whole album on there, and it's an interactive thing where not only does it have the music, but almost every song has video that goes along with it, so you can experience the music, and it's about 48-minute journey. So that's kind of what we did with that, and it sounds great. So
what I love about this comment right here from Mr. Joe Clary that's tuning in, he just said he's everywhere, woo, and it just makes me like, you are, as opposed to your tour that we're going to be talking about shortly. You are everywhere, kind of like, you have a lot upcoming. What's going on now? You previously just released a new album. And what is the name of the album?
It's called Looking Ahead.
Okay. And with Looking Ahead, what was your theme that you were putting out for the album?
Well, this album is a little different because I produced it. I was the engineer. I was everything on this album. So in the other albums, I had a producer and people like that worked with me in Nashville. This one right here was pretty much just me, myself, and I, and well, of course, my wife Terry. I wouldn't be anywhere without her. But we'd go through it and we'd pick out every little nuance of every song and make sure that we could work it through and it sounded good. And sometimes there was stuff that we'd come back and listen to and go, oh no. So I mean, you have the good, the bad, and the indifferent, But hey, I have to give a shout out. Terry passed me a paper, says Bill Luce is on, Karen Dega is on, Casey LaCourse is on, Joe Cleary is on. I'll tell you, these folks are some amazing folks. Just some amazing folks. Tom Owsley, she just handed me another one. Aaron Himes. I just
actually, you can read it right in front of you. Can you see his comment?
Oh, yep. I guess I can.
Yeah, I was going to say I wanted to give you the opportunity that you can read the comments for everybody that's tuning in.
Yeah, awesome. I got to tell you, I am blessed with people that listen to our music, that help out when voting is going on and stuff, and I talk to them every day, and it's a blessing to be able to talk to them about things. So
Yeah, we have a lot of comments and that are honestly coming in all about you right now. Obviously saying hello, how are you? You're an amazing performer and songwriter. And Karen sent hearts. So this is literally all to you. I mean, like I said, we love having you here. We appreciate the time. This is incredible.
I'm humbled. I'm humbled.
That you're sharing with us still. You're not done yet.
I'm really humbled by folks, and I see Angela Eidenmiller too. Just like I say, I'm very humbled by the people that follow us, that are there, and just grateful for each and every one of them. I truly am, and grateful for you too, and being on your show with you, Dani. It
so
really
sweet.
It's a treat. It's a treat.
I want to go back because we have so many comments coming in that Chris is going to be putting up that you're more than welcome to communicate with. I want to just go back a little bit more to your album because we're going to get ready to start talking about your tour as well. For your album, when you were looking to put it out there and you said the different types of music tracks that are out on this album, this is the album that you are using to tour with currently, correct?
Correct.
Correct. And how many tracks is on this album?
This has 12, plus I also do I go back and I have my Wanted CD, which is another 10 songs out of Nashville. Really, that was a powerhouse project as well. Just had some really heavy hitters on that one. And I was really blessed with that because, everybody wasn't working because of the COVID and all that. So I was able to really secure some people. And man, oh man, wow, that we got that all put together. It's got lots of good stuff on it for sure.
A lot of people you collaborated with and you worked with. Do you want to give any shout outs to anyone that's on the album with you?
Well, I could do that for sure. I mean,
of course, it's your time to shine. Why wouldn't you? Whatever you want to do, you tell me.
I can tell Michael Chauncey is a really good guy in Florida that has done a lot. Jim Blaisdell's another one. He's the guy I was telling you about on the blues guitar. Frank Michael from Nashville, and Junior Cernovat. He plays drums on several of the tracks for me. And his whole thing is he toured with Marty Stewart. He's Kitty Wells' grandson. So I mean, I'm just, like I say, I'm so humbled. I'm so humbled by the people that truly I can get on projects that are willing to just come in, help out, do whatever, and truly be friends and brothers and sisters. And it's such a blessing. So, and of course, my wife, I'd be remiss. Terry not only keeps me in line, but tells me where I got to go and when I got to be there. But she also, there's so many things and sacrifices a wife makes, if a husband is doing this, or a husband makes because a wife is doing this. So on this project, it was really cool because she comes from a family that her dad was in music and a big band. And so she's seen this all her life. Well, she gets to get involved with this because with this project, I got whatever she could play. I brought her in and said, let's do this, And Jim says to me, he says, well, that's nice of you. I says, do you realize that we've been married 27 years? She's put up with this going on. I said, she deserves a break here, man.
She probably likes being part of the scene with you, also being one of the singer-songwriters. And then behind the scenes, because you get a chance to do both,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. I don't get a chance to be behind the scenes anymore. I have Chris now that takes over that, which is so nice. I just like being in front of the camera.
Well, and Terry does that too. I mean, there's just a lot of duties that are shared that, boy, it would be a burden for one person to have to do all this, and try to keep up with everything. And the team that we have assembled that helps us is just phenomenal. And again, grateful for each and every one of them and everybody who listens to the music and comes to the shows. We're so blessed. We really are blessed.
Especially visiting you at the shows, probably getting to meet you afterwards, connecting, collaboration, and so much more after that.
Oh yeah. And collaborating is an important part of the business too. I mean, it's a lot of people write everything themselves in that, but when you start collaborating, you do get a lot of different input in, a lot of different stuff that happens with the music that maybe you didn't hear or see, and all of a sudden, oh wow, that's cool. Yeah, and there's great rewards in that. There just really is great rewards.
Well, you know what I want to say also as well, because we're talking about you and your tour and everything like that. I do want to get into the duo with you and your wife, but I'm interested to know more about yourself being Andrew Dean and the Farm Band. Where did this name come up?
Well, that's my name. I came up with that because I work with a lot of different musicians, and so that's my farm machine.
Okay.
Sometimes I work with guys out of Florida. Sometimes I work with guys out of Nashville. It can change. Sometimes guys are available. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes I get to play with some pretty doggone good talent that's let's just say up there, been around the block a few times.
We're going to talk about that too. I know there's some names that you're excited to mention.
I'm just always amazed. That's all. Just always amazed that I get to work with these people, and at the same time, it all depends on. It gets down to budgets and stuff like that when you're playing jobs. I kind of do the rocks, pebbles, sand thing. The rocks being the big shows where you've got a big crowd, fairs, festivals, whatever, and the pebbles are kind of the medium sized show, and then there's the sand, and I'm the sand because I'll just come with my acoustic and play and annoy you. So,
right. But you know what? That's the fun part. When it's you and an acoustic guitar or yourself and your music, there's nothing you can beat. Sometimes that's the most amazing sound than a whole band.
Yeah, well, it can be.
Then it's nice to have your band so you can all socialize and communicate and make connections.
Yeah, it is awesome. I see Kevin Plannert and Imrod. My brother Imrod is on, and Rebecca. Like I say, I'm so blessed. These folks are just awesome people. And when you meet them, you just and talk to them every day. I really get overwhelmed with just heartfelt, overwhelmed.
They're very supportive of you, as you can tell. It's
nice. I want to support them. I want to support them too, because that's a lot of what has to happen these days, especially in the indie market. There's so many people that I don't want to say a negative thing here that they're in it for themselves, but you've got to be in it for everybody, because everybody is working for the same goal, same success, and we all can do this together, So it's important to me anyway. I love sitting in the front row to cheer people on. I don't care if it's a concert, a show. I don't care if it's an award thing, whatever it is. I love to cheer people on because I love people succeeding.
Yes.
It makes my heart happy.
I think we manifested this conversation today. What do you think? I think that we definitely did, because honestly, not that long ago, maybe last month, my dad, Doc G, was part of a film festival with Ruben as well, part of Iron Horse Films, and Frank Modica. Everybody, after they were done with the film festival, they were doing an award ceremony. Guess who the loudest person was? Myself.
Oh, cool.
Everyone deserved the credit because it was incredible. Everybody's working together, creating new films, new independent films, and different just genres, connections, collaborations. And I love it. I think it's incredible. So yeah, I was the obnoxious applauder, screamer, and I'm sure I made the event so much more fun. But people were also probably like, when they were getting the award, they were thankful for it. They were probably like, "Oh my God, like somebody really likes the film I created." Well, it's the same as an artist. It's you on stage getting an award. Somebody actually voted for you. You probably never thought this day and age would come, but it's your time.
I like rooting people's success on, and I also like listening to the different styles of their music and what they're doing. I like to be a part of what they're doing in their music as well. So when I always have like the computer on. I'm always listening to tunes and enjoying what people are putting together. In fact, even Imran, who's on there, we did a little collaboration together on an old, now get this, Judas Priest song. It was a rocker. That boy can rock now. He can rock. And so we did that, and he put together a little video and that with it, and just did a phenomenal job. And I was just amazed that I could be part of that. Just was really awesome to be a part of that.
I love that. I think it's amazing. Like your whole fan base is coming together for yourself. They're excited for you to work with you, have an honor with you. I mean, Imran right now, Chris is going to put the comment up, but he said, "What an honor to work with you." You get the opportunity to just have these connections that definitely will boost your careers in the next level. And I feel like a lot of musicians, even just getting involved in starting to be a musician, you never know what's next. Sometimes you might be skeptical to go in this step or that step, or take 3 steps up, past whatever you thought you couldn't achieve.
Yeah, but you know what, Danny? Danny, when you say that, though, the thing that that I gets me is you don't know unless you take that step, right?
Correct.
I mean,
but you don't want to do 1 step. If you think you can handle it, do 2 steps. Do a little bit more than you think you can handle.
Sure. You might surprise yourself.
You have to be willing to take a leap of faith.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's kind of every song that you write, too, is kind of that way. It's your baby you're putting out there. And so you want people to like it. You want people to enjoy it. And, when it's first going out, it's like, oh, I hope you guys enjoy it. And then it builds and you're like, okay, yeah.
Yes, but in the beginning, you're hesitant to put music out because you don't know if people are going to like you. But that shouldn't be the situation. You should still know that you love yourself regardless, and you have family and friends to support you. Yes, so if that's the case, then you're going to go much further in life than you expected. Then you'll get the fan base that you wanted and you deserve, and that will come. God will bring it directly to you.
Yes, he will.
That's what he wanted to hear.
but in his time, you got to remember that too sometimes.
Yes. No, you're right. There is definitely your time and God's time. And sometimes we want to be above our time, but it's not the right time.
Yep.
As a musician, you understand the sad part of that too.
Yeah, I see Vinny's comment here too, and that's Vinny. You're so right. You're right with that. Yes, that's true.
He is one of my amazing good friends. He's from Jersey Calling here in New Jersey, a wonderful pop punk band. Incredible. He's such a good friend. He tunes into every show.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's incredible. Yeah. So I just wanted to say it's incredible though, because you have so much that you're putting out there and you're still on tour. That means next year can be so much more magnificent and wonderful for you, marvelous for you, above and beyond for you.
We're always looking ahead. That's like I say, the name of the album is Looking Ahead. We're always looking ahead.
That's a positive part of it though. Very, very positive, because you want to look ahead. You want to manifest and believe in God has your next step for you.
Mm-hmm.
You might not know what it is, but you might get little hints.
I got to tell you though, now I've got a song on there called Rise Above.
Okay.
That is just about that, helping people, share some kindness, a little bit of love, a handout to help you up. We can rise above. That's the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, and really that's the way I feel. There's enough negative in the world that we need some positive. So,
I feel that too. That is why I'm a radio show host. I bring the positive back because it's so hard for people. Even when you listen to some podcasts, sometimes they're all different types. Some of them can be a little dull. It just depends who the people are and what they're portraying and putting out there. But you need somebody that's so enthusiastic, and this is what they want to do, and show you that you can live again, even if it's something that you thought that you couldn't do. There's people that I've had on my show that wanted to give up on their dreams, and then they were on my show and they sold one of their places, and now they're still doing what they want to do, vegan restaurant wise. So shout out to my good friend Kevin from that, or Kyle from that.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of different people that just have different dreams. We all chase our own dreams.
That's the thing. When you have those dreams, don't be afraid to go after them. A lot of times I never wanted to be the old guy sitting on the porch in a rocking chair going, man, I should have, or I wished I would have, I could. No, life is to live.
Take it step by step.
You betcha.
Yeah. Tell me about your tour. Where have you been currently?
Well, we're in Ohio, going around Ohio.
Okay.
But we do go, and when we're up here, we go all around the tri-state. Well, in 2019, we did 19 states. So we really got around. But we we'll be in Florida. Let's see, my gosh, mid-September or so, we'll be in Florida and down that way. But we play in Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky. We play up here and around this area, and so I mean, we go all over the place. And last year we did close to 300 shows. So we keep busy.
Have you been to New Jersey? Why aren't you coming to New Jersey?
Well, let's see. The last time I was in New Jersey, when the heck was that Terry?
It was. Now you're on the show, so you have to make it happen.
On the way to Maine, we got lost.
She says we were on our way to Maine and we got lost. that happened in Boston. She got on the outer loop in Boston, and you try to sleep when you can, and I wake up and she's sniffling, and I'm like, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "I'm lost." I said, "Oh." I said, "Well, let's pull this over and figure it out." Well, we did, but oh yeah. But yeah, we played up in Trenton, Maine, up in Bar Harbor, up in that way too. That was beautiful.
Have you done Cape Cod or Massachusetts?
Massachusetts. Where were we in Massachusetts?
Boston.
Well, we were in Boston. Yeah, she says Boston.
That's exactly what Chris said on the side. The same probably way. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 So you've done Massachusetts.
We've been
Boston, yeah.
We've been there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've played in North Carolina, South Carolina, Arizona, Wyoming. My gosh, New Mexico, Texas. So Louisiana.
Where's one place that you would like to play at? Like a dream place? Grand Ole Opry.
Well, yeah, Grand Ole Opry's. You can't pretty much beat that. But yeah.
I heard Terry in the back. She said, "Yeah."
Yeah, that's true. But Utah, I love Utah. I don't know how many folks have been to Utah, but man, is that beautiful! And when the sage is out and everything, wow, it's gorgeous, really gorgeous.
Well, I have to say,
the biggest surprise. Yeah,
I have to say this comment. Oh my God. Thank you, Vinny. That is the sweetest thing you could ever say, especially to my wonderful guest, Andrew.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Vinny.
We're getting a lot of compliments here tonight, mister.
Well, thank you. I appreciate each and every one of them. I'm humbled.
I think that's incredible. Thank you as well to Imran. We have so many comments coming in as well for everyone that's tuning in. I wanted to give the opportunity because I want to know more about you and now Terry. Where did the duo come in? When did she start helping you?
Oh, she's always been a help. She's always been a help. Now, as far as getting in on it, it's been a little while. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it, honey? It's been a while, but it took her a little bit to get going, but it took me a little bit to get going too. So I mean, it's kind of a shared thing there.
Work in progress.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said earlier, I mentioned Terry's dad was in big bands, and Don was a heck of a tenor. Her dad was a heck of a tenor. Played a trumpet. Oh man. And funny thing about him, I met him when I was about 14 years old, and my mom liked the group he was playing in, so we'd go out. Well, turns out that during the breaks, I was like, because I was a kid, I was like in the adult conversation. But the minute he started playing, I turned my chair to the table and I just watched him. So he was one of my influences from all that way back. And so I went up to him and I said, Mister, I said, I got a question for you. How do you do this? And he leaned over and looked at me and says, kid, I got 3 words for you. I said, what's that? He goes, practice, practice, practice. So,
Now you live by that.
Well, yeah, and you got to. But the funny thing about that is I didn't know at the time that I was going to marry his daughter many years later. And yeah, so...
But wait,
life is funny.
I have to say something about that. That means that in the beginning, God put him there for a reason as your inspiration. And somehow, some way, it was supposed to come back where she was coming into your life. And maybe you didn't know her. Yeah, you only knew the dad, but you didn't know they had any relation.
Right.
And now you're related to the dad.
Well, here's another little crazy spin on that. We met on a blind date.
Oh,
and
okay.
when we met, I I told her that night. I said, we're going to get married.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, okay. So 3 months later, we got married. So anyways, we start digging in some family pictures. We see places where we were like when she was, I don't know, 13, and here she is 2 rows back. My family's in front of that. Her mom took the picture from the orchestra pit, and there we are, and she's 2 rows back, standing there. So I mean, our lives intertwined many times.
But you had no idea.
That we had no idea. We looked years later, and you know what? There we are. There you are. It's like,
Yeah.
wow. So yeah, it's a funny way that things are may move around. Yes, Kevin, we will see you in Fremont, July the 14th. Awesome. Downtown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think Terry just said, yes, Kevin, 12th downtown new amphitheater. Amphitheater.
Yep, the amphitheater. Yep.
Tongue
They have a nice one.
No, I think that's awesome. That's incredible. So then shortly when intertwining with Terry and you guys got together and became married and everything like that, did you also know she was a singer? Like, did you ever hear her sing prior to that, or was that like a surprise too?
No, I knew she was talented. She's got a lot of talents, and it just takes time to work everything out. But as you do and you go along, and it just adds more and more and more. And she's got well, I'm pretty biased when I say this, but she's got a beautiful, beautiful soul and a beautiful personality that just can't help but shine through. So, boy, that'd be a way to go, buddy. There, all the way over to Pakistan.
So you're visiting the countries now. You can definitely come to New Jersey.
Country of New Jersey.
We're closer than Pakistan.
Is it a country of its own? Is that what it is?
No, definitely. No, it's incredible though. So you had gotten, the opportunity to sing with her, and some of your tracks that you have on your album or previous albums, is she on them as well? Do you guys have duos together,
she's on this one a lot. Previous ones, I had a lot of Nashville guys. She is a professional clapper. She was on a few of them clapping and stuff like that. So we joke about that. Well, yeah, that was this album. She played the guervo and the tambourine. Funny story about that. We were trying to record a live performance one time, and Terry was sitting back by the recording stuff. I had left my tambourine there, so I'm up there singing.
Okay.
And when we went back and we reviewed the track, we couldn't use it because all you hear is Terry on that tambourine.
She took it away. That's incredible.
She stole the show.
She deserves a lot of credit in the end as well, because Terry, even though you are in the back and I only saw you putting your hair up because I'm sure you had to, girl, because your hair was in your face, you sound beautiful, and I'm excited to meet you one day too. Come to New Jersey.
She is. She's a beautiful soul.
And she's working hard for you too upon your radio interview.
She really is. She really is. She does all the time.
Yeah, I think that's incredible because
blessed to have her.
It's nice to have somebody that you love, you care about, work with you, and make memories, even if you guys want to create more music together. I mean, do you write together as well too? Is it easy for you to write with her?
Well, I do the writing pretty much, but she hears everything. So if she and the dog are leaving when I'm writing and I'm singing something, I know, well, probably needs some work.
She's doing it on purpose.
Oh yeah. Out for an extended walk and comes back and listens first before she comes in the house. It's funny where songs come from sometimes. I mean, because sometimes when you start writing, it completely 360s and goes the other way, and that's where you really get the real song. So, everything just doesn't come as a drop in your lap type. But there are those that do. But there's some you got to really work it, play it, and feel it.
So let's talk about, what do you feel like is one of your biggest achievements in your music career?
Well, I don't think I've seen that yet. How about that? Because we're living our lives and loving every minute. I've had many people I've met on life's road. I've been so blessed. Many great fans, many great, just it's overwhelming when I stop and think of it all.
Yeah.
But the love that comes, the friendships that comes, honestly, that's the award. That is the huge award uh, of this business. Is all the people that are so friendly, so loving, and so kind. And again, I can stand there and cheer for them too because I just I can't help but feel the love.
Incredible. I love that. That's so humble.
You know.
That's so humble and deep how you explained that.
Right.
How that makes you feel and how you want to portray yourself as a musician in your career.
Hmm.
That's beautiful.
Well, I wouldn't be anywhere if nobody was listening. If nobody wasn't, anybody who sits in any crowd, if they didn't come, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Well, I probably would, but it wouldn't be like we're doing it right now. And it's still, even if it was, I always make the joke. I say I had one show a few years back where I only had one guy show up sitting in the front row. So I put on one heck of a show, and I said, sir, thank you for being here. He goes, well, I have to be here. I'm the one who has to sweep up and turn the lights out when you're done.
But he still gets to be there to be a part of it. He could watch magic happen in the studio.
Oh yeah. Well, it can be a humbling business too. So,
Definitely can. Well, though we were talking a little bit first more about country, and I definitely think country is more of a story process where it just makes me feel down to earth, lovely, wanting to sit on a grass with a beer in my hand and somebody mowing the grass.
Oh, somebody mowing the grass, huh? That's usually me.
Oh, yeah. I'm not mowing the grass. Maybe Chris is mowing the grass. But it's more the fact that it makes you feel like you're home, even though you're not home. Like, I'm from New Jersey. I'm not country, but I want to be because of how amazing it is. It's so storytelling that it makes me feel like it's so easy for you to understand the music. And it just makes me feel amazing as opposed to some other, genres out there. I used to be a huge pop R&B fan. I switched right back to country.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back.
On my father's radio station, as you know, on Hamilton Radio, with the oldies and the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, today's hits. No profanity on the station. That's the type of music that I love listening to growing up, getting a chance to listen to, be a part of, because there's not a lot of incredible, iconic music out there now, as opposed to when we all grew up. They're trying to bring it out, doing their best they can, but sometimes they should just not touch it and let it be.
Yeah, I hear you, and I agree with what you're saying for sure. Yeah. I sometimes I gotta wonder. You hear some of the language and things like that. Why you don't have to put that into music? I mean, you don't. It's
No.
you don't. So.
It's just for the way they want to create. I think it's not even genre related. I think it's more generation, where it's like my generation just needs to have sometimes crap, as opposed to my father's generation or my mother's. And it's like, I don't want that. Like, I don't want to be a part of that generation. I don't like any of the music in that generation. You make your own generation, being a part of where you are and the certain type of music that you like. I'm glad we get the opportunity to listen to different artists around the world and different creations, because if my dad did not have this radio station, I wouldn't know about many of different artists in different countries and states all around the United States. I would just be interviewing people in New Jersey. So it's incredible that I get the opportunity to meet different people, and have you on the show. You were on Jerry's show. You're on the Dani Perro show. You get a chance to just be interviewed all over the world. I think that's incredible for you too.
Yeah, I have a fine Canadian friend on, Sandy Vallis, so I want to give her a shout out. Hey, glad you could come. So like I say, it's an amazing journey. Every day is a blessing, and it's a blessing to just be able to do what I do. And it's not work if you're doing what you love to do, and I know that sounds cliche, but it is so true. I did the blue collar dollar. I worked the factory life for a while, and
wow.
And it wasn't all it was cracked up to be, let me tell you. Mm-hmm. But for some people that's good. And so I don't. It's not a it's not a negative thing, but for me, it was music, and I was born in music and just loved music all my life. So once I got the blessing, the opportunity to play music, uh, that really changed things around for me.
Well, I think that's incredible. I don't even want to say goodbye to end the show because I would love to talk to you for hours. You're very sociable. You're super interactive and fun and very enthusiastic, just like myself. Have you ever looked into being a radio show host?
Well, let me tell you, I did one thing back when I got out of high school. I went to BGSU for broadcasting.
I did not know that was not on your biography.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, anywhere.
No, it wasn't. No, in fact, my classmates all, when I was in high school, they all predicted that I would be a rock DJ at the local rock station in Toledo. So, yeah.
A lot of things change, but you always have it on your back burner.
Well,
You can play your own music too.
Well, there you go. That's not bad. It's not a bad thing, right?
It's not a bad. How you get yourself out there more than you think.
Yeah.
Hey, I have to appreciate your time giving me today. Where is your next trip? So you're technically going to Fremont next? Is that your next tour?
No, we're in Fremont right now. We'll be heading to. Where are we heading, anyways?
Oh.
I have to tell her. I told you she's the one who keeps me going where I need to go. So like we're going to Tiffin and Ottawa and
we'll be on the Jerry Petito show.
We'll be on the Jerry Petito show. So that's coming up.
Okay.
So I had to give her a shout out too.
She tuned in earlier, so that's no problem at all, of course. When is your next tour date? Is it day by day? Is it weekends?
It's about every day.
And
wow.
It goes on every day. Yeah.
Happy Hour should tell you a lot.
Yeah, the new song "Happy Hour" should tell you a lot. Yeah, that's one of my trop country songs there. So, but we are doing we do different trop events and things like that too. So, I mean, we do keep busy, and like I say, very blessed to do what we do. If anybody's wondering, by the way, I'll shoot this out there. If anybody's wondering how or where we are, just go to my website. It's all on there. And that's www.andrewdean.us, like United States. Go there. There's a thing called the Fun Club, which is you get if you join it, you get free music. We send you out free music as we get it. It's an interactive site, like we were talking earlier with the new CD and all that. So I mean, there's just a lot there. My saying with that is, come on in and sit a spell, and you come through a door in a cabin. That's how you enter into the website. So, but like I say, we do keep busy, and there's ever changing. We're ever adding dates and things as to what we're doing. So that's how to keep up to date on all that good stuff.
Where can people purchase your music as well? Do you have CDs, albums?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I have CDs, and I have now.
People have digital, so I'm trying to make sure they have CDs still out. Because I like to listen to them in my car. That's why.
I've got CD. Your car has a CD player.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Mine does not. Mine has a USB. So that we have the project on USB as well.
Okay.
So if you only have USB, you can play that on your computer as well.
Okay.
We have that available. We also have several CDs on there and stuff, all the way back to when I had long hair down to my rear end. And that was, I had it. And a mustache. I had it all going on, let me tell you. So,
I feel like I want to see a picture. Long hair. Long, huh?
It got so long that when I sat down, I couldn't move my head. So it was like, it was time to cut it.
You're like sitting on it. Yeah, exactly.
So I went to the hairdresser there, and I says, we're cutting this thing off. She goes, what are you doing with it? I said, giving it to Locks of Love.
Oh, that's incredible. Of course you did something like that.
Our whole family who had long hair, we all got it cut. My ponytail was 3 foot long. So it was pretty impressive.
It's not long now, is it?
No, it's about right here. It's about midway. It's not too bad.
Because you're wearing a hat, so I can't see it.
But at any rate, we did that. And see, my sister died of breast cancer. So that's always been a cause of mine. Always been a cause of mine. anything to do with any kind of cancer or anything like that, I'm usually on board with to
Try to help
volunteer whatever we can.
Of course.
So that and my veterans, I
Love that.
I will volunteer
So
for
fun.
stuff like that. Sometimes it's just to sing at an event, to go and sing the national anthem. I'm more than happy to. I figure I think it's my duty. It's the least I could do. So
Well, I love that. I think that's incredible. So yeah, I will get in touch with you after the show. We want to get some albums from CDs from you if you can find them.
Sure thing.
Too.
Yeah.
For sure, definitely want that. And I appreciate you being on the show. Incredible having you. Hopefully next tour when you release one, you might come to Jersey or just stop by Boston Maine again. But now you'll know that from Maine to New Jersey you'll be safe because you
All
can
right.
come to our studio directly. So
Okay.
we'll have you in studio then.
Danny, that sounds like a deal right there. I'll tell you. I appreciate you and you having me on your show. I just want to thank you so much for having us in. And Chris, want to thank you too. And great communication to get us, so we
No
can figure out what we're doing.
Absolutely, sir. We're very thankful and happy that you were able to join us.
Well, thank you so much. I'm humbled. Thank you.
And I love interacting with all your amazing listeners, followers, viewers, friends. My friend Vinny as well tuning in. It's incredible just to have everyone connect. You never know what's going to happen next. So
That's right.
I'm glad. And like I say every time, you never know who's going to be on the show next. So that's why everybody has to tune in every Tuesday.
We're always looking ahead.
Exactly. So I have to say, you have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your tour. Stay
you.
safe. Make connections. And God bless.
Thanks, everybody, for joining in. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in as well. An amazing show. Make sure you guys all follow. Andrew Dean as well. Go to his website, any of his social media. Loved having him. He will definitely be back. And thank you all again. Have a great night, everyone. Tune in every Tuesday from 6:30 to 7:30. Good night.